Hey, it's Courtney with the Highly Sensitive Badass, and I'm outside today enjoying this amazing October weather. I'm kind of a sucker for warm, beautiful weather, so it's exciting to have this on the East Coast in October. Anyway, so I wanted today to talk about fear because fear is the biggest dream killer when it comes to stepping out, owning your voice, living your life purpose, and really listening to your soul's calling. This is specifically for any of you who would consider yourself to be a light worker. So a lot of highly sensitive people would consider themselves light workers. Not all, but I would actually venture to say that almost all light workers would also consider themselves highly sensitive. Light worker is simply a term for somebody who is very spiritually oriented and who is on the planet to live their divine purpose of helping the planet. And it could be anything. It could be someone who works with animals. It could be an energy healer. It could be a therapist. It could just be someone who has a really kind soul and just makes everyone around them wants everyone around them to feel really good. So I would consider myself a light worker, and my soul's calling is to help other people raise their vibration, step through their fear, live their highest purpose, and just live as their very best version of themselves. So that is really what I feel my mission is, and I just love to help people feel really good about themselves. So as a light worker, fear can really just stop you dead in your tracks. If you are trying to put yourself out there and really own your message, talk about this stuff. Like for me to even use the word light worker out there is terribly scary because I have a huge fear of judgment. I have this huge fear of like my family members calling me and being like, "What are you talking about? I just saw your blog post and are you crazy? Like what's going on with this?" And for me, that stopped me for a very long time, is I did not want to hear what other people had to say about what was in my heart. But what I realized that it was causing me tremendous pain not to do that, not to talk about this stuff. I wanted to so desperately. I wanted to talk about, consciousness and spirituality and all of these things that for me were not part of my day-to-day existence with my friends, my family. And it felt really hard. I felt very restricted and frustrated, and I felt like I was living very small. So over the past few months, I've really worked on my fear. And so I wanted to share some of the tips that I have learned with you that helped me move from a place where I was terrified to own my voice to really stepping into it and owning it. And it's scary and it's fun and it's exciting. So I want to talk to you about that today. So the first thing is to become friends with your fear. So I kind of think of my fear as like the shadow that's just there all the time with me. Sometimes it's like a nice little shadow hanging out in the corner. Other times it's like punching me right in the face because, big fears come up, smaller fears come up. So the old saying, feel the fear and do it anyway, is like my best friend. I go to that immediately. And if I notice a fear coming up, and literally in my business, I feel fear probably on a day-to-day business, I feel fear every day. Let's just say that. So feel the fear and do it anyway is what I immediately go to. And if you ask any successful person if they feel fear, they will say yes, because anyone doing big things in the world feels fear because it is scary and it is spiritual work. This work is spiritual work because putting yourself out there requires tremendous strength. It requires overcoming challenges, and it will challenge you. And it's exciting because it kind of puts you on the fast track to spiritual growth and just personal growth in general. Anything terrifying, that's the money, okay? That is where you will grow so much. So feeling the fear and becoming friends with that fear, I kind of look at it as my opportunity to grow. So that is a really great thing that I have learned how to do and can really help you if you start thinking of it as your friend and someone that's helping you grow, instead of an enemy who's trying to keep you small. All right, the second thing is to realize that as someone who's here to help other people, you're not here to help every person on the planet. You are here to help certain people who really can learn from you and can be helped by what your unique voice has to say. So when I got over that, that was tremendously freeing because I didn't feel like I had to please everyone with what I was saying. I just knew that I was going to connect with the right people who could grow from what I was saying and putting out there. And it's true, the minute I started talking about the highly sensitive stuff, I had people writing me out of the blue telling me how much it changed their lives just to know that this was something that existed, that explained part of who they were. And that just, every time I get a message from someone saying that, oh my God, it's like my heart just lights up. I'm so excited. And so those are the people that I'm meant to help. And you have the same thing. Whatever it is you're doing, you have the people that you are meant to be working with. So just remember that you're not here to please everybody. You're not here to help everybody. You are divinely contracted to help certain people. Okay. 3, if you have naysayers, and oh my God, I had a huge naysayer over the summer, and she sent me this horribly nasty email, doesn't know me, never, just found me on my website, and I almost quit my business because of what she said to me, a stranger who took the time to email me, and it was not about me. Her email was actually about how she was feeling, and I triggered all this stuff in her, and so the email was about really what was in her heart, and it was about her. And anytime someone says anything to you, if you have naysayers, family, friends, whoever it may be, who may try to dissuade you or question you or ask what you are really up to, like, why are you doing this? And we even have our own inner thoughts, like, who do you think you are to do this work? And you may get that question from other people, like, well, are you really an expert in this? Or like, why are you doing this? And it's really not about you at all. It's about them. And just, you have to, put on your imaginary earmuffs for when that happens. Really, you have to block it out. And the magic, though, is when you really own your message, when you don't care, when you stop caring what people think anymore, people don't challenge you anymore. It's so interesting. When you really step into it and you're confident and you know you're going to do this no matter what, those naysayers kind of disappear. It's really interesting. I think that email showed up for me to really force me to own myself in a bigger way. And it was a really growing experience, and I'm really grateful I got that now. And I should write her a thank you note for that horrible email. But it's really not about you. When people are naysaying, it's about them. So keep that in mind, okay? And then, oh, this is a good one. So number 4, your soul will not stop calling you. Okay, I can't tell you the number of times I have really tried to quit my business. I have started it in different incarnations, and it took me a while to actually get to where I felt like I was on the right track with it. I started as a health coach, and I was working with like moms, and then I've sort of moved into this highly sensitive empath light worker fields. Over time, it was an evolution, but there were a lot of times where I was like, maybe I'm just not meant to do this, or a fear would come up and I'd say, I don't think I'm cut out for this. And I have quit a few times and just decided, like, once I decided I was going to go back into architecture, and I tried that for a while, and nothing else I ever did stuck around because my soul kept calling, and I kept being drawn back to this work. And I think it took time, and I think sometimes there can be that gestation period of figuring out what your true calling is. It can be a tough road, and it does this, and I think mine will continue to do that, but your soul will always keep calling you. So you might as well listen. It's really never going to go away. I've learned that firsthand. It's going to keep coming back, keep coming back. So the sooner you accept your life's purpose, the easier it is. Your soul can be like, okay, cool. I can relax now. I don't have to bug you anymore. So that's another good one. And we do need your unique voice. Finally, this is my favorite stuff, is creating new identities. I love this because for a long time my identities were very negative. I used to have very negative beliefs about myself, and I have shifted all of those around and turned them into really positive identities. So creating an identity around someone who works through fear. So my identity, for example, is whenever my fear comes up, I immediately say, you know what, I'm someone who I don't care. I don't care what people think. I'm somebody who, does the scary stuff. I'm someone who challenges myself. I'm someone who can rise to the occasion. And those were all, I used to feel the exact opposite of all of those. So it can be done. Changing your beliefs just means creating new thought patterns, and you think them long enough and then you believe them. And so every time my fear comes up, I remind myself, like, wait a minute, I have a choice. I can either be someone who doesn't respond to fear by backing away, or I can be someone who rises to the occasion. I can be someone who pushes myself, who challenges myself. And I never used to feel that way. So creating that new identity based on somebody who doesn't back down is really, really important. And I call it like a superhero identity. I would say, I would describe it as something like that. And, you know, you may still care what people think, but if you remind yourself, like, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to care what people think, it just gives you that added, like, oomph to really take action and do the thing you're afraid of. Anyway, so I hope those tips have helped you. I would love to hear from you because I really believe that we are so needed. You know, there's so much. If you have like love in your heart and you want to give that in the world, we need you. And it's important. Like the minute your message becomes more important than your fear, that is when the magic happens. And I got to the point where I realized that the good I wanted to do in the world mattered more than my fear over what somebody was going to think of me or what someone might say to me. And I realized that if that happened, that I would be able to deal with it. And that was when, for me, I really just, it's like I signed a contract with the universe and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm doing it. And it is still scary, but I'm doing it anyway. So I'd love to hear from you. I hope this helped. Let me know what your fears are. Let me know what's going on with you. And if you like this video, you can subscribe to my YouTube page. You can check out my blog at thehighlysensitivebadass.com. And thank you for watching. Bye.